So, this affordable housing, is it, so from my understanding, when like, at least in New York, I've always heard that when these buildings are put up, they're supposed to have certain apartments allocated for those for affordable housing. So how do you, like, these developments that you're doing, is just the whole thing is affordable housing, or it's just like certain apartments?
Yes. So the difference in Texas, there's no shortage of land. So I'm not in the commercial affordable housing space. So I'm not doing multifamily rental affordable housing. I'm doing single family for sale homes, affordable housing. So I'm wanting this first time home buyer that keeps getting priced out of the open market to get a piece of home ownership, right? I want you to be able to buy that home, pay off that mortgage as quickly as possible, maintain that home with pride, and then pass on that home to your heir. So you're coming in, I'll give you an example. The houses that we just sold 2 years ago, the buyers got in for $230,000.
Right.
That was the purchase price. There's down payment assistance opportunities, and they were able to get $30,000 towards their closing costs and mortgage buy down. So essentially, they walked into that house for $200,000. 11 months later, that same house appraised for $450,000.
Wow.
Yes, it's right next to the University of Houston. So this teacher, the guy is a teacher, another lady works in like hospitality. You got into a house for $200K, and now you're sitting on a $400K nest egg, Like, what other investment opportunities is the average person doing to get that type of return?
Yeah.
So what are the cons, right? Well, the city does put this clause, this provision in your deed that states, okay, if you go to sell this house within the first 10 to 20 years, you're going to have to pay us back, because the city is saying that.
Right.
They're like, because we took out the land cost and we gave you some money to close, you're not just going to flip this house and, get rich. So I tell them, you stay in there for, 10, 20 years and you pass it on to your heirs, because that's the whole generational cycle and curses that we're trying to break, right? We're trying to leave legacy, pass, assets on, right? So, and you do that by putting your family in a position to win when you're gone.
Right.
So those are the affordable housing opportunities that we have in Houston. I'm about home ownership. I'm about assets, right? So, yeah.
Hold on. A lot of questions now.
Now you're good, man. I was waiting for you to ask some questions.
I kind of figured that, but I was letting you go. All right. Good job so far for setting this up. So I just want to break this down for everybody.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, right? Because you're doing affordable housing, you're buying single family properties, you're getting incentives from the city in order to give them down payment assistance, correct?
Correct. Yes. So the incentive so for example, we have what's called a TERS in Houston. It's called a tax increment reinvestment zone. All that is just a boundary, and through taxpayers' dollars, a portion of taxpayers' dollars goes towards affordable housing. So the city says, hey, builder, I'm going to sell you 10 lots at a discount, and I need you to build on those 10 lots and put a first-time home buyer on each of those lots in those houses. So the, I guess, subsidy, if you will, is they take the land cost out, and that's where the builder that's how we make our money. And
so instead of charging, let's just say $50,000 for the land, let's just say, for example, the city will say, we'll give you this land.
We'll sell you, instead of selling you the land for $50,000, we'll sell you the land for $5,000 or $10,000. $10,000 has been the max.
So we're selling for $10,000, saving you $40,000. But in order for this to happen, you have to put a first-time home buyer in here, and the price point has to be at a certain threshold.
It's capped.
It's capped.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then on top of that, that first-time home buyer will now be eligible. Well, when they do that, do they have to meet like these AMI guidelines, area median income guidelines, to purchase?
That is correct. And the area median income for a household of one is $74,000. That's a healthy income, you know? So, at least in Houston, you know,
74,000
annually. Yes. And
So
once again, I'm in the Texas market.
Do you understand AMIs?
So that's why I asked the question. Yeah.
So AMIs is basically like they'll say you can't make no more than 80% of the
For affordable housing.
for most first-time home buyer programs that the city or the state or the government gives to home buyers, it's all based off of you qualify if your income doesn't exceed
a certain amount
of money, and
Right.
it's based off of family size. Family of one, like she said in Houston, was 74,000. Family two will probably be 95,000, 100. I'm just making it up, just trying to give you an example, right? And it goes on and on to like I think a family 4+ is like 125 or something, just as an example. That's kind of how the chart would read. And as long as someone is the buyer, the home buyer that's coming in is a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer by definition is someone who hasn't owned real estate within the past 3 years.
3 years.
Right? So, and most people don't know that. You can have owned a house 5 years ago, sold it, but you haven't had no ownership and no property for the past 3 years. Your name is not on no deed. You are technically now considered a first-time home buyer.
So it just resets.
It resets, basically. And if you don't exceed the income, the AMI guidelines, and your DTI qualifies, obviously, to get approved for a loan, then you can purchase one of Vanessa's homes.
That is correct.
So there must be a long list for these to even qualify, no?
A long list to qualify?
Like is people who, because that salary is really not like a waiting list. Yeah.
I can't even finish a house before it goes under contract. Like at one point I had like 150 buyers waiting, and I was telling the city like, I need more houses, I need more houses, I need more houses. But yeah, when I'm in permitting, I'm putting together my 3D rendering, so I'm showing a mock-up, and then I'm pushing it on social media, MLS, you know, different channels, work in the neighborhood, and then they go like that. So
this is probably guaranteed. Like whenever you build a home, it's definitely somebody's gonna buy it for sure.
I mean, so far so good. So far so good.
Knock on wood. But I mean, really break it down though, like she said, right? So from a developer standpoint, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting the land from the city, because the city, what most people don't even realize, most of these cities own a lot of the land in the counties.
Right.
Right? And they land bank them. They hold them. Right?
Yeah.
And when the developer comes in, now they buy that land. If they can meet these criteria, like Vanessa said, with providing affordable housing, because like she said, it's a crisis all throughout America.
Right.
And the world, for that matter. So now you go into this, you getting a steep discount. Now you helping the economy, you helping blue collar workers.
Right.
Yeah, it's creating the whole atmosphere.